Good day, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Marksman Survival. I'm Jim Marks. I'd like to apologize to all my followers. I haven't done a video in quite a while. Not since last winter, I guess. Been a crazy year for everybody. So you know what's going on unless you've been living in a bubble. That being said, we'll just continue on here. It's November. It's coming up on Remembrance Day. And so don't forget to wear your poppy. If you're Canadian, show some respect for all of our service men and women, present and past, and for allowing us the freedoms that we have. That being said, today I start off the winter here by doing a pretty simple video on snares for rabbits. If any of you go out snaring rabbits, it's a pretty easy way to get some meat in the freezer. In most areas, you don't even need a license to hunt or snare rabbits, providing you've got either your own land, your own crown land, or you have written permission from the landowner. That being said, just follow your local rules, regulations, laws, whatever. So what I've been using ever since I was a kid has always been the same wire. I've never changed. There's a couple of different ones out there. This one here is a brass snare wire. Okay, it's I got this at Canadian Tire. It's a 20 gauge wire, which is the maximum gauge you are allowed to use, and being an exemption of trapping laws. Okay, so the knot that I'll show you, it's called a traditional double loop snare. That knot is illegal to use on larger gauge wires for canines or weasels, anything that's a fur-bearing animal. Rabbits are a whole different category by themselves. So again, this is for educational purposes. Just know your local laws and whatnot. Snare wire. This one is a brass one. It does come in stainless steel. You can get braided, whatever. Basic 2 rules in my area for rabbits. I'm in northern Alberta. No bigger than a 20 gauge wire, and the loop that you make in the snare cannot be bigger than 5 inches in diameter. Those are pretty simple rules to follow when snaring rabbits. So going forward, when I do my snare, I cut the wire about 30 inches. It's about an arm length for me. So it's about 30 inches long. Now when they come, they're already in a roll, so they want to bend a certain way. So you have to use that to your advantage. So you take it. What I normally do for the double, I like to take an awl because it's just easy. You can use whatever you want. You can just bend it over, twist it with your fingers, whatever. I like to use an awl, and I'll show you why. I take it, I stick it on there about halfway up, third of the way up, and I just do one wrap and then 2, just like that. So now I've got that. Very simple. It's nice, it's neat, it's clean. Now, some guys got real strong fingers and whatnot. I like to just go like this to start it off. Well, I guess I'll start it off like this, and just give it a nice tight twist. You can probably see that. And then just finish it off with your twist. And go all the way around. You can keep the awl in there if you want to, and make it easier for you, like that. Whatever works for you. The key to this, in my opinion, anyway, just make sure when you got to the end here, you got this little thing sticking out. Just either snip it off or pinch it in nice and tight, just so it's not digging into the rabbit. You don't want to be causing the animal any more pain than you need to. It's also hard on the fingers. So now you've got your nice loop made. So, and you can go neater than this, And it wants to curl a certain way. So that is the way that the snare goes in. The way that it wants to. Don't fight it. Okay. So you have your snare. So you bring it to about the size of a grapefruit is what I've always done. I just take my hand, I go like that, make a nice round, like I said, no bigger than 5 inches in diameter. And then to hold it in place, you can just give it a little kink. Just like that. So then you have your tail. That goes on to whatever you're fastening onto, your branch. And now you can see how much you've got. So I've got about 10 inches here. That's all I've got to secure that. So if you're running it further, you can make longer snares. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So you could do a drag snare if you want, to a tree, wherever the rabbit runs are. Okay. So the difference is why I like to do a double loop. That's called a traditional double loop. That's what people have been doing forever. The reason they don't do a single one, and I'll show you right now. The rabbit comes through, and his head goes through, his legs bump it, so that's what tightens it up. And that stays tight. That's not coming off of there. Okay? You take a single one, okay, and he wiggles around. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of loosening up. See? That's what you don't want. Because what's going to happen is you catch the rabbit and he fights and fights and fights, gets tired, and then it loosens off and he can breathe again. You don't want that. That's torturing the animal. He's not gonna back out of it. It's not gonna come off of his head, but it'll allow him to live longer and perhaps freeze to death. It'll just be horrible. You want to be as humane as possible. So that's a pretty simple way. What I normally do is I'll just take these and I'll pull it through to make a loop that's about the size around my fingers. And you just kind of wrap it around like that. You could go around a broomstick if you want them small, whatever you want. Just take the end, give it a twist, hold it together, put a bunch of those in your pocket, you're good to go. Now again, there's different ways of doing it. And of course, follow all your local laws and legislation. So anyway, 20 gauge wire. If you wanted to go that way, I would recommend making a smaller loop. Same thing if you wanted to make your double one a little smaller, it'll hold it in place a little bit better. So that's it. 20 gauge wire, by law, in this area, no bigger than a 5-inch diameter. Make sure it's secured. I like to secure mine to a tree that's going to bend and give a little bit. Less chance of this breaking, and it will kill the animal. Just like a power snare, the same principle. Anyway, folks, thanks for joining in. I will be doing a video soon on actually placing these in the field, what to look for, how to place them, height, whatever. Keep your feet dry, keep your knife sharp, and again, Remembrance Day is coming up, so toss a few bucks in the poppy jar and show some respect. All right, thanks again.